Welcome to a 1v1 on Kholodny Winter. This game is going to be Amerigasm versus Sturmtiger ElRammstein88. I don't know how to say 88 in German, but probably sounds even better. Apparently, I guess this is a rematch between these two people. So, that's interesting. We've got Volksgrenadiers coming out from Rammstein. We've got rifle start from Amerigasm, so no extra rear echelons from him. Personally, I think extra rear echelon troops on this map in particular are a huge benefit because of the split nature. You generally need to go in multiple directions at once, so you need to have a lot of harassment power. Rear echelon troops really help a lot in that regard. But on the other flip side of that, it's really important to note that there's only one munitions point on this map, which Rammstein is taking now. And if you spread yourself out really thin, your odds of successfully holding the one munitions are not great. So having that munitions advantage is huge, especially for Oberkommando West, in fact. They really rely on that point to get those Panzerschrecks out, as I've stated 1,000 times before. So if the American player can dump all of his resources into riflemen right off of the right off the bat, right at the beginning, then win that central munitions point, that can delay the first Panzerschrecks significantly. But of course, if you push hard for the munitions, you might not have very good fuel control, so it'll delay your own vehicles. It's a trade-off. No engagements yet. Sturm Pioneers are taking the north fuel. Meanwhile, Amerigasm spreading himself out here in the south, grabbing the cutoff, grabbing the fuel. He's sending riflemen to back cap. Riflemen are about to engage some Volksgrenadiers. The Volksgrenadiers are in red cover. Riflemen will easily win this engagement. Volksgrenadiers disengaging to move down to the strategic point. These riflemen kind of idling a little bit. Meanwhile, up here, rear echelon troops making their way. It looks like he's going to run straight for that victory point. Meanwhile, a Kubelwagen has been fielded, kind of oddly positioning. Looks like it was moving up to counter-harass here in the north, rather than making a hard push for the American cutoff, but he's repositioning it now towards the center. Meanwhile, SWS half-track is like doing a little ramming of the church, but he's stopped microing that in favor of the engagements here in the south. Kubelwagen encounters the riflemen, does suppress them in one burst as they're attempting to cross the road. And there they go, pinned. He's going to be forced to retreat that. No flanking opportunities in this lane here either. Nice use of the Kubelwagen there to force that early retreat from the riflemen before they can push any further. However, he probably should have followed up and forced away this squad here in the south. Meanwhile, in the north, we do have Sturm Pioneers engaging those riflemen. They will lose at that range, I think, despite having yellow cover. Kubelwagen is moving up to assist, however. That's 3 Volksgrenadiers and a Kubelwagen on the field, so we're probably going to be seeing tech from Rammstein soon. As for American tech, ambulance is hitting the field before an officer, so he's actually going to sacrifice an early vehicle in favor of getting that ambulance out as quick as possible, which against a Kubelwagen is quite a risk. So we'll see if that pays off. He has sustained heavy wounds on some of his rifle squads, so that may actually help preserve some of his manpower. Nice flank there by the rear echelon troops on the Kubelwagen. The riflemen are trying to move up to assist. It's taking light damage. Sturm Pioneers moving up to clear the flank. Rear echelon troops taking some pretty heavy damage. Oh, but the Sturm Pioneers retreat away from those riflemen, and the Kubel comes dangerously close to falling down, but he does run the corner just in time. He should be able to get to safety as long as he doesn't slack off on getting that out of there. Meanwhile, these Volksgrenadiers probably going to lose this engagement to these riflemen. Still no teching up from Rammstein as he's busy microwing engagements. He really needs to do that soon, though, as he doesn't want to delay the production of his Panzer headquarters. What is that Kubel doing? Meanwhile, this rifleman squad has been pretty much AFK down here in the south. He really needs to shift-click those orders to get the capping going there. Especially since a rifleman squad is not optimal to be sending to back cap. You really need riflemen fighting. Back capping with riflemen will cause you to struggle in the early engagements, big time. Which is why Amerigasm is getting beaten by just Volksgrenadiers. Even without the Kubelwagen supporting. It's about to get repaired now. It looks like he is about to tech up here. Riflemen trying to grab the fuel, falling rather low. Volksgrenadiers do force them out of the capture circle, and we'll start decapturing the point there. Still no tech from Rammstein. 5 minutes in, it's starting to get quite late. There could be a utility car on the field already. In fact, he's kind of lucky that there's not, because he can't purchase Panzerschrecks until he techs up.
Ready for action. Under attack. Work completed. Adjust position.
And speaking of which, the utility car is in production. There is a lieutenant on the field, of course. Most riflemen really need to retreat. They can't trade cost effectively at this point. Riflemen from the south are making their way up, and they will be able to harass the central munitions. Finally, we have tech decision. Mechanized regiment headquarters going up. Should be potentially a good decision, considering there is a lieutenant here on the field. Puma should be able to shut that down as long as he can avoid hitting any M20 mines.
Capture complete. No enemy activity. Attacking in force. Crossfire.
Nice push by these riflemen. This squad in the open will take the Kubel wagons damage as the lieutenant moves up into cover. However, the lieutenant should probably continue his advance here. They are going to be able to close into range for the rifle the rifle grenade. Ooh, nasty grenade, counter grenade from those Volksgrenadiers, but unfortunately the M20 is here to finish the job. In fact, that rifle grenade was not really even necessary. That Kubel wagon stood no chance of escaping from this situation, and it will go down. Still no anti-tank really from ElRammstein. He has purchased a 4th Volksgrenadier squad, so pretty heavy investment into that. Also, the fact that he just threw that grenade and has lost the central munitions point means that he now is going to not have a Panzerschreck for quite some time. He also activated fuel transfer just a moment ago to rush that Puma onto the field. He's now switched fuel transfer off and switched back to munitions transfer to speed up the production of his Panzerschreck. So actually nice use of that ability to boost the timings of all of the important components of your early army there. We will notice an AA half-track is being produced. Grenade, that was a waste. Definitely should not have thrown that. Usually throwing a grenade when only one engagement is happening at a time is a waste. It's almost impossible for your opponent not to notice that. Not to mention, you really need those munitions for your Panzerschrecks. If you haven't purchased any Panzerschrecks yet, throwing grenades is just doesn't really accomplish anything. Like, even if it forces the squad to retreat, it doesn't accomplish anything. Even if you think you'll secure a squad wipe, you need to think really carefully. Will it really secure that squad wipe? Like, you need to be pretty sure that you're going to get that squad wipe based on how many engagements are happening on the map, how clumped the squad is, how wounded the squad is, and all of these different factors. The M20, I don't think it's planted any mines. I don't think that he has had the presence of mind to do that. He wasn't quite ready for the Puma to hit the field, even though it's already 8 minutes into the game. He does pop smoke to try to escape. Looks like a classic bait. Rammstein is, you know, he's smart enough not to chase an M20 through its own cloud of smoke. That's classic baiting. He's playing it safe. Good move. He needs to get that minesweeper up and throw that on the field to scan for mines in advance of his Puma. AA half-track hitting the field, goes right into range of that Puma though. Puma's doing quite a bit of damage to it. The autocannon doesn't seem to have range from that distance. What is that AA half-track doing? Grenade gets tossed again. Doesn't do much. The Puma does manage to snipe the AA half-track at maximum range, so that AA half-track was just a horrible investment for the USF player, accomplishing nothing, literally nothing, and then dying, giving some free veterancy to the enemy Puma. Not something Amerigasm could really afford. He's going to need to clear that Puma out with an M20 mine now, basically, or tech to captain. Volksgrenadiers in the middle are in red cover and extremely wounded. There they go. They will retreat. Ooh, grenade almost takes down the building the lieutenant is inside of. And And again, lots of munitions being spent here by ElRammstein, but he only has one Panzerschreck. He needs to cut down on his usage of grenades, rotate over to usage of infiltration grenades now that he has switched or picked Scavenge Doctrine, and get his Panzerschrecks out. Stop using grenades so much, basically. Primarily because he still has munitions transfer on, which is just killing his fuel income. He's only got 8 coming in. He's going to be relying completely on a Puma for a long time if he doesn't deactivate. Oh, and there he goes, switching back to fuel transfer. Good move. I honestly don't think he should have even left it on as long as he had. I don't think I would even turn fuel transfer on, though. I would just disable both of them, let them both take up. You need the munitions for the Panzerschrecks. You need the you need the fuel for your Panther. But that being said, he does have a 60 fuel advantage over his opponent, having taken out the AA half-track, and we'll also see Captain Tech being produced here by Amerigasm, which is probably the safer thing to do. He doesn't actually know that his opponent has been utilizing munitions transfers for so long, so he doesn't know that he's going to be that behind. Infiltration grenades kind of miss. Riflemen engaging the Volksgrenadiers here. They're going to be forced to retreat. I'm not sure he's watching the engagement, though, as he's microwing his Puma in the center. And they're going to go down. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Did I speak too soon? I spoke too soon. Those Volksgrenadiers will make it away just barely. We do have the captain hitting the field there. Or here. And the Oberkommando West will take the cutoff of the fuel, spreading. Meanwhile, Rifleman spreading out to the victory point. Lieutenant taking the fuel point there in the south.
Volksgrenadier, ready for action.
OPs report the weather is lifting. Stand by for confirmation.
Secure the vehicle. Location set. Begin conversion.
Squad, ready to move.
Tacking sideways now to Battle Group Headquarters, which is something we've seen some players do in the tournament, actually. It's pretty unusual not to rush Tier 4, but some people...
The weather is cleared. Return to normal operations.
try it, because it does delay your Obersoldaten, it does delay your Panther and looks options. These Volksgrenadiers are charging across red cover at a lieutenant. Not a good move. If he had continued to engage at maximum range, he had a chance of engaging cost effectively if he got some lucky wipes. Now that lieutenant will easily be able to chase away that squad, potentially even chase away the second squad. We do have reinforcements making their way forward to the munitions point once again. This harassment attempt by those riflemen could go really badly, depending on whether that Puma gets any lucky snipes. We will see an M20 mine going down right there. Still no minesweeper purchased by ElRammstein. And as soon as you see the utility car, that minesweeper is super important to get. He's very lucky, in fact, that he did not hit the mine right there. Skipping right past it. But not going to go full ham. Or will he? Yes, he will. He's going to circle back around. Meanwhile, over here, I'm not sure what happened. Here's another M20 mine, by the way. That Puma is in just such dangerous territory, and I think he's gonna hit this. Or not. He's actually swinging around wide north. That is an incredibly lucky Puma. Of course, Amerigasm could be a little bit more nuanced in his attempts to bait that thing. But it looks like Rammstein is intentionally maneuvering his Puma so that he's never following the M20 directly, just trying to stay in range but taking an alternate route. The captain does approach. Oh no, there it goes. Puma hits the M20 mine. Very nice herding of it with the captain, forcing it to take that particular path. The M20 will survive. The Puma does go down, leaving ElRammstein with no vehicles. He's only got 70 fuel right now. Things are going to not be going too well for him. That wasn't really a loss he could afford. That being said, taking out the AA half-track earlier is good. Especially since his opponent went captain tier. That is going to significantly delay the enemy tanks But again, Amerigasm has chosen Rifle Company, which means that he doesn't really need to tech Major to bring in tanks. He's already at 8 command points, in fact, after having taken out that Puma, as it is 15 minutes into the game now, pretty low tech game. So the EZ8s are going to start getting here very soon. And Amerigasm's fuel control is also extremely good.
Supply half-track is in action. Standing by for setting of command post.
Grenadiers back to full strength.
Puma ready to deploy.
And looks like we have a second Puma hitting the field. Again, kind of a questionable decision. Once the massive amounts of American infantry start to arrive, you can't really afford to delay your high-tech structures any longer. You really need that Speer HQ to get those Obersoldaten on the field. He is trying to bridge the gap with Jaeger light infantry, but in the end, I say ultimately too much. They just can't compete with the riflemen the way Obersoldaten can. More mines going down from the M20 again. Get that minesweeper up on those Stern Pioneers and clear out those mines. It's critical. Otherwise, your Puma just stands no chance. Oh, please, please don't get baited twice. There's an AT gun, there's a captain on the field somewhere. Puma just randomly popped smoke. I don't know what that was all about. M20 is now going to try and bait him over this mine again. I don't know. Kind of weird. Weird cat and mouse going on here. The Puma's going to be forced to disengage because of the AT gun up there, but there are 2 vet riflemen right there. Fortunately, the Puma sneaks through this this little thing. If the riflemen were to close in on that Puma, they could easily destroy it with their double vet rifle grenades. That Volksgrenadier squad looks like it's going to retreat just barely in time. Meanwhile, M20 and AT gun doing what they can. AT gun's going to get a second shot off on the Puma. It's so close to going down. Get it out, get it out, get it out. No! There goes the Puma. Meanwhile, an engagement in the north. Pretty even. Those Volksgrenadiers probably going to get suppressed by the volley fire here. Yep, there they go, but the Jaeger lights should be able to secure the engagement and the rear echelon troops will retreat. M20 in a rough situation. We'll have to retreat from that Volksgrenadier squad. Jaegers grabbing the victory point. Volksgrenadiers taking fuel. Riflemen probably going to lose this engagement. Maybe. Okay, it looks like they're gonna lose. I don't know, I still can't tell. Stern Pioneers and Jaeger Lights will, of course, move up to secure it. With that Shrek snipe, though, I don't know. It was gonna be close. It was gonna be close. More reinforcement happening here in the base. We now have 2 Panzer Shreks, 2 Jaeger Lights, 2 standard Volksgrenadiers for Kholodny Stern Pioneers. The EZ8 has arrived. They're probably just going to keep coming. American fuel is at plus 26. Over Commando West resource incomes are at plus 9 and plus 12, so terrible. He's going to be relying completely on infantry-based anti-tank to take on an EZ8, which is not a good situation to be in. But that being said, the EZ8's performance against infantry is not actually that good compared to AG shells. But it's certainly much harder to take out because of its higher armor than a standard Sherman as well. So it can be quite a thorn in your side if you don't have a Panther to counter. Speaking of which, Rammstein still has not even teched up to tier 4 and doesn't even have the fuel to do so, so he's at least like 15 minutes from his next Panther, which is way too far away. Riflemen engaging some Volksgrenadiers here in the south. One squad forced to retreat. But the EZ-8 is moving up to assist, forcing a retreat from that squad there. Second shot misses, fortunately. Second Rakettenwerfer being produced. It's pretty much necessary at this point. He has no choice. His anti-tank is pretty lacking considering he hasn't been purchasing those Panzerschrecks across the course of the game. He's only got 2. He's thrown so many grenades. Trying to take out the M20 here. Moving Sturm Pioneers into close range on the Lieutenant. Doesn't look like they're doing too well though. Lieutenant throws a grenade, but it's quite off target. The Sturm Pioneers will be able to get away safely. The Oberkommando West Blob continues to advance across the right side. Meanwhile, here in the center, Rakettenwerfer is engaging a produced 50 cal, and the EZ-8 and AT gunner just kind of defending the munitions. Again, can't stress the importance of this munitions point enough. Holding it against Oberkommando West just gives you a massive advantage. I mean, just look at these income numbers: 47 to 11, especially when the American player also holds an abundance of strategic points. Really hurts the Oberkommando West ability to field Panzerschrecks. And he's really feeling that now. Is going to hit Vet 4 with his 1 Panzerschreck squad though, which is certainly beneficial. His Jaegers are about to get forced away by American Blob over there. Hopefully he will be able to finish capturing this fuel, but his cutoff has been harassed by a nice cutoff attempt by those rear echelon troops. EZ-8 circling up to support. All infantry being forced to retreat. Looks like everything should be able to get away pretty clean. Meanwhile, the American player has researched BARs, and we have a pretty hard harassment for the south here, leaving the center somewhat vulnerable. There goes that Rakettenwerfer. I think it just got killed by the AT gun. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what just happened. I don't know. Wow, this machine gun and that AT gun have the exact same kill counts. They've both destroyed a vehicle and they've both killed 3 infantry. It's kind of funny.
Be advised, extreme winter conditions are affecting the lines. All units are to take immediate action.
Rifleman grabbing the fuel. M20 moving down to harass the Volksgrenadiers again. No Shreks. He's just, the munitions are just creeping in, just painfully slowly. I don't even think he should. Ooh, Rakettenwerfer sets up to force the M20 away, and he will be able to finish taking the fuel point. Fuel cache going up there, trying to accelerate the rate of EZ-8s pouring onto the field. And again, even though it's 20, well, especially because it's 23 minutes into the game, Rammstein desperately needs to get that minesweeper. There's still an M20 mine on the field here, still an M20 mine on the field there. If he were to get an Ostwind, for example, out, or maybe a Jagd Panzer and 10 fuel, which might be actually a decent purchase at this point. Hitting one of those mines will be disastrous. Infiltration grenades go into the church, destroying the 50 cal. EZ-8 forces away that squad there. Volksgrenadiers trying to move up on the EZ-8's flank, although it's a pretty dangerous flanking attempt, sending them pretty much alone. But with the 50 cal taken out, they won't at least get suppressed. Here they come. Second EZ-8, however, is on the field. Taking heavy losses, they will be forced to retreat. Meanwhile, here, Jaeger Lights being engaged by riflemen will also be forced to retreat. Sturm Pioneers moving up into somewhat closer range. Volksgrenadiers in the south successfully harassing the strategic point there. Sturm Pioneers dropping a few rifleman models, but they're in a lot of danger. Grenade going out in the retreat path. No, there they go. Perfectly placed to wipe the squad if he reacts in his retreat at just the right moment. Very nice grenade from Amerigasm there. Good judgment on when his opponent would notice it. And he secures the squad wipe.
Maintain the squad. Ready to move. All in with the Panzerschreck. Squad, gather around.
Munitions cache going up here from Amerigasm as well, so he must be thinking he either wants to purchase more BARs or throw out more white phosphorus.
Aufgepasst. Check weapons. Panzerschreck, make ready. Contact!
We have fallen to 200 points.
Fire! Under fire! Flank security!
Cops report the weather is lifting. Stand by for
Vet
confirmation.
5 does get secured on those Volksgrenadiers, but he might lose this squad. Amerigasm should really chase that. There's really no excuse for letting that get away. Oh no, that is extremely bad. That was his best hope of winning this game, that Vet 5 Volksgrenadier squad, but he does have a Jagdpanzer on the field. Of course, he's now diving it straight into 2 Easy 8s and a Panzerschreck rifle squad. Fortunately, all shots are bouncing off its frontal armor. It does miss its first shot, but wow, pretty impotent battle so far. He's now reversing away from his base, allowing these Easy 8s to chase quite easily. He needs to circle back around, but he is moving towards more Panzerschreck support, so that's a good move as well. We do have white phosphorus falling on this Volksgrenadier squad here. The Easy 8s are kind of floundering a little bit though, struggling to circle around because of pathing issues. This Volksgrenadier squad has fallen extremely low, but he can't afford to retreat. He desperately needs that extra DPS. Oh, and the Easy 8 shot that could have killed that Jagdpanzer just missed, and both Easy 8s will go down without taking out the Jagdpanzer. Very nice play by Sturmtiger ElRammstein there, baiting those Easy 8s into his 2 Panzerschrecks unsupported, taking them both out and sustaining no losses. He could have moved his AT guns up to support in that engagement and potentially take him out in the end of that, but unfortunately he had a little bit of tunnel vision there, and he also kind of messed up. If he had not like gotten stuck on those logs, that could have been an easy victory. Easy victory for him. He's blaming American armor, but I think that was his fault, and I think Easy 8s could have easily won that engagement, even with the Volksgrenadiers there, especially with usage of smoke. And he certainly didn't have to dive so aggressively without AT gun support either. That being said, still going to be rather dangerous for Rammstein to push. We cannot forget there are 2 M20 mines on the field in critical locations.
Pioneers reporting for duty.
Big push going for the AT guns without armor support. They're now extremely vulnerable. Of course, Amerigasm has purchased the extra fuel cache. His map control has been quite good, and again, Rammstein has blown just a mountain of fuel on Pumas. There's still no Obersoldaten on the field. The game is basically still in the mid-game, despite being 30 minutes long. So currently it looks like it's kind of a race to get the next big vehicle out. There is a Jagdpanzer, of course. That one's still on the field. Ooh, nice one, but it's still subject to being baited over the mines. The Easy 8s are just going to keep coming. Fresh one's going to be hitting the field very soon. Oh god, what is that thing doing? Whoa! That was an interesting decision. He just dived that Jagdpanzer straight down the road, completely unsupported, for no apparent reason. He's really lucky he didn't hit that mine right there. If that had been just a little farther forward, that thing would be dead.
Incoming fire!
Squads moving their way forward. 2 AT guns set up, ambulance, got some American infantry here. Ooh, that AT gun shot just like wiped a bunch of Volksgrenadier models. Wow, meanwhile, M20 harassment in the north going quite well, forcing a full retreat from Rammstein's infantry, but we do have successful harassment of the south victory point by that Volksgrenadier squad. Fresh 50 cal here, Rakettenwerfer available to be retaken there in the center as well. These two squads look like they did successfully hold the munitions point. Looks like Amerigasm really just prioritizes that munitions quite heavily. He really doesn't want to lose that. Repairs going up on the damaged Jagd Panzer. Eastern Pioneers moving to assist. We finally have 4 Panzerschrecks purchased by Rammstein, so despite how incredibly long it took him to do, 30 minutes, he does get them out, and he will finally be able to free himself up to spend munitions on other things. He's also still not tech to tier 4. Really needs to get on that, and he also needs to get on the victory points. He did successfully take the south one. Nice salvage going off down here as well. But if he doesn't get a firm hold on the north soon, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. And an Easy 8, a fresh Easy 8 has been fielded. Still no minesweeper. After losing 2 Pumas to M20 mine. Oh no, excuse me, 1 Puma to an M20 mine. Still. Think. Oh god. Oh god. Oh no. Yeah, Panzer playing pretty dangerously close to this M20 mine. Easy 8 engaging some Volksgrenadiers here in the north. Captain defending the fuel point there. Yeah, Panzer will circle around. We've also got some light harassment and counter harassment in the south from these Jaegers. Volksgrenadiers moving to assist. We've also got an Austrian getting called in. Oh, jeez, he could not be delaying his tier 4 any harder if he tried. He's never going to have Obersold at this rate. Which is why he's just getting walked all over by these vetted American BAR riflemen. He just doesn't have anything that can contend with them. Of course, the Austrians will help with that. But Easy 8s are just going to walk all over his Austrian if he's not careful. Of course, the Austrian Jagdpanzer combo is potent. We'll see if he can make it work. I don't know what this 50 cal is doing. Meanwhile, here in the south, full rifle squad goes down, but he retreats without recovering a BAR that he could have stolen. That's kind of a shame. Full retreat in the north, the Jagdpanzer, Volksgrenadiers, Jaegers, falling a little bit low. Easy 8. Receiving some repairs. M20 also receiving some repairs. Nice flank by the nice flank by the Austrian coming up behind, but it looks like he was ready for it, and it hits the M20 mine and gets immediately destroyed. Which just goes to show how important it is to build a minesweeper. In fact, you did catch a break. That could have gotten abandoned, and then you'd really be screwed. Sending a tank in deep, unsupported, generally doesn't work out too well.
Squad, ready to move.
M20 mine circling around, looking for more. M20 circling, looking for more mining opportunities. Gonna throw one down on the road there. I really, really hope Rammstein thinks to get himself a minesweeper soon.
We are down to 75 points.
Squad under fire!
Otherwise, those that M20 is just going to make a fool of all of his vehicles. Oh, ambulance gets sniped by the Jagdpanzer, throwing Vet 2 on that Jagdpanzer, which is, what is that again? Armor. Yeah, that armor bonus, so it's going to be bouncing shots even more than before. Please don't get baited over this mine. Please, please, please. Don't drive that Jagd over that mine. Alright, looks like he's not going to take the bait. Volksgrenadiers just trying to move up and snipe it with the Panzerschreck, but they do get suppressed by the 50 cal there. Jaegers, meanwhile, trying to retake control of the center munitions, and tons of harassment happening in the north. We do have Volksgrenadiers grabbing all territory points up there. We also have the EZ8 about to make its way up there through the north as well. Lieutenant needs to reinforce here at the base. 20 continues to be a pain, and this defensive American line holding out quite well. Those Jaegers will be forced to retreat by these BAR riflemen. And a second EZ8 has just been called in, so the American tanks are starting to regain momentum. And in the meantime, Rammstein has not really capitalized on the fact that he killed 2 EZ8s in the sense that he fielded an Ostwind, blowing 100 fuel right down the drain, and then immediately losing it without really killing anything with it. So he's gonna start to be a little bit behind again. He again has only a Panzerschreck blob and Jagdpanzer to deal with the enemy tanks. I almost feel that purchasing EZ8s is a mistake though. Spamming EZ8s against an opponent who has literally nothing but anti-tank seems like kind of a mistake. He still has no Obersoldaten on the field. He could easily just walk all over Rammstein's army just by spamming a giant BAR blob. But he only has 2 rifle squads. But all he has to do is just spam a ton of infantry and he would just roll over the entire map easily. His heavy investment into team weapons is making it difficult for him to cover a lot of ground. He's just kind of sitting a lot of his army in the center, inactive. Whereas Rammstein is pretty much utilizing all of his army at all times. Which is the only reason he's been able to keep up this long. He's, of course, getting very dangerous for him at this point. Only 70 remaining. EZ8 going in on these infantry. M20 and a second EZ8 moving up to support that Vet 5 Volksgrenadier squad. Really can't afford to go down. That needs to survive this. I don't know if it's going to, though. Nope, there it goes. That is a big loss. Meanwhile, things aren't going so great for this Jagdpanzer either. It just got its engine damaged. An anti-tank rifle grenade from those riflemen, and we have 2 EZ8s moving up to capitalize on the fact that just happened. There is a new Ostwind hitting the field. It looks like he is just not going to go tier 4 this game. He's given up any hope of even thinking about that. His Jagdpanzer does get a shot off on the EZ8. It's trying to circle around, but in the blizzard, its speed is so reduced. Nice block by the Ostwind. Huge block right there, preventing that EZ8 from getting around. Meanwhile, a grenade forces the Volksgrenadier to retreat. It's now going to be this damaged Jagdpanzer up against 2 EZ8s. Things are not looking too good. He needed to keep on utilizing that Ostwind for its blocking power, but the Ostwind will go down. Jagdpanzer doesn't have a line on the EZ8. He needed to use attack ground there. Oh no. Devastating losses. And that will conclude the game. Rammstein throwing up GG. Just takes massive losses at engagement.
Consolidate our forces. We are down to 50 points.
Losing all of his armor in a nice push by Amerigasm. Good usage of the EZ8s there. I thought that for a moment that that Ostwind was going to make a huge play, maybe take that EZ8 out, but unfortunately with the damaged engine there and the blizzard, there wasn't really much that Rammstein could do without more Panzerschreck support. And I guess even though he said GG, it's actually not GG, and they were still playing, so. Just kidding.
Stand by for confirmation.
EZ8 going in on some Volksgrenadiers in the north, trying to get in cover. will be forced to retreat. Jaeger Lights also being forced to retreat from the cutoff.
Commander village.
Weather has cleared. Return to normal operations.
We have casualties! Under attack!
We have the sector. Grenadiers back to full strength.
Infantry attacking in force! Battle promotion! Objective secured! Find cover! Squad, heads down!
Riflemen getting pushed away from the center. We do have more riflemen grabbing the fuel here on the right.
Squad, shut it!
Victory point control somehow going to Rammstein, even though he's lost all of his tanks. I'm surprised that these EZ8s are getting a little bit more aggressive and trying to seal the game here. Looks like he's gotten his repairs done and he's going to make a push for the right side. The Jaeger infantry have been forced away. Riflemen are going to take the victory point once again. And I think all M20... No, there's still an M20 mine right there.
Squad back to full strength.
German territory increases.
Volksgrenadiers attempting to take the southern victory point, but they will immediately retreat. Oh, detonated his own M20 mine there. That is unfortunate, but he does take out the Volksgrenadier squad. Panzerschreck does get dropped. Not really anything in range to recover it from either side. Oh, Jaeger light infantry squad also just got wiped. EZ8's going in to finish the game now. Rammstein has 95 fuel. He can't afford the vehicle to save him from this situation. Support gun has to flee. Opening volley from those Volksgrenadiers does some nice damage to those EZ8s, and they will be forced to retreat once again. Victory points slowly ticking out.
Down to 25 points.
And again, the EZ8s disengage. And he could just continue to push and punish and bleed his opponent. Ooh. Panzerschreck lobbing straight into those tanks. Smoke barrage going out, but he does get an opening volley off. Continues this pursuit. Meanwhile, here in the center, actually in the north, it looks like these riflemen are going to finish out the game. There's nothing anywhere that can stop the victory point countdown.
Consolidate. We are down to 10 points.
Riflemen take the north VP.
Our resource sector has been cut off from our supply chain.
And that's going to seal it. Amerigasm wins. Well played, Amerigasm. Well played, Rammstein. Desperate, kind of basically futile attempt at the end there by Rammstein after his two vehicles died, I guess. Props for at least making the attempt. What an oddly low-tech game. My advice to both players would be try and get some higher-tech units out quicker, I guess, but whatever works. He did make good use of Captain Tier, throwing out the AT guns. He made excellent use of M20 mines. I think his baits over the M20 mines could have been a little bit more nuanced, but again, that is an art form in and of itself. So, GG. Hope you enjoyed the video.